All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move podcast. This is our preview show for the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift, and I'm joined by Mari Holden, Allison Tetrick. Allison, by the way, glad you're doing well.
Yeah, on the mend.
On the mend. You had a lot of people worried.
Yeah, including my husband. It was a really dark couple of weeks.
I talked to on our ride today. I can only imagine. Today's show, as it will be for the entire race, is brought to you by Ketone IQ. Now, as we have talked about for the last 3 weeks on the men's show, HVMN launched the first drinkable ketone in 2017. Ketone IQ is their latest innovation on ketones with improved effectiveness, taste, and cost. Ketone IQ delivers clean fuel that can cross the blood-brain barrier. This might be good for you.
I need some oxygenation in that brain for sure.
Yeah, well, we all do. But it truly is a game changer, and I'm actually super curious how much, and maybe y'all know this, if ketones are playing a factor in the ladies' peloton. But another factoid, Ketone IQ is also now available at Sprouts throughout the United States. You can save 30% off your first subscription order of Ketone IQ at hvmn.com/themove. Whoa. It's been a couple hours since I did ads. It's not been. Also today brought to you by AG1, daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it literally every day. It is the truth. And girls, you better be doing it because George was doing it. JB was doing it.
I think it tastes good.
It's so good.
It does taste good, and it's made a huge difference. I was sick and tired of taking all these pills and supplements and all this stuff. I wanted a single solution that supports my entire body and covers all my nutritional bases every single day. Simply put, I wanted to take control of my health, and all for less than $3 a day. Pretty good deal. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 10 free AG1 travel packs. Yes, that's 10 free travel packs. We can do the math on that. Head on over to drinkag1.com/themove. That's drinkag1.com/themove.
You know, I have 2 rules before I get out of bed in the morning.
Okay, this is going to be good.
My husband, Blaze, has to bring me coffee delivered with a kiss and my AG1. I kid you not, I do not get out of bed without this delivery service.
And for all the guys out there listening, they're just like, well, there goes. We're screwed.
Just telling you, but it's great.
Let's talk about the 2023 Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift. It's of course, this is our second year. Great to have the band back together. Before we talk about this race and actually cycling, I have to just acknowledge, I think we are living through an amazing time in women's sports, right? We obviously just kicked off the Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, but it's just, it's a thing, right? And I think, I don't know, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, it was like, all right, but these are real competitions, real businesses built on the backs of that, and it's time. Like, it's so cool to see, and also kudos to ASO for bringing the race back. We talked obviously last year a lot about it, but and I know you have some stuff at the end of the show, Allie, but the numbers were huge. They were getting crazy viewership numbers, and the race was damn good. Like, it was just, yes. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, watch the FOM. Here we are. 2003, and more to come.
Every day. So why don't we break it down? Because this is, of course, a different route than last year. I think it'd be fun and also educational and informative for me just to go through the route and how it is different than this year, and just some of the characteristics or interesting things that stick out for this particular route.
So I think as you're looking, we're coming from a highly successful year in 2022, and we're going to make it even better this year. But there's some significant changes. So in years past, we've had La Course, and then last year we started on the Champs-Élysées. Obviously a sprint finish on that course before the men come in. And so this year, the women are starting in Clermont-Ferrand, which is the Massif Central region. So the first 6 stages actually occur in there. And I know you've talked about it on the Move previously on the men's tour, because this is just this like mountains and plateaus and those sticky hard roads of just up, down. I mean, there's no smooth sailing out there. It's also known for cheese, agricultural, and the headquarters of Michelin. Who knew?
Right.
I also think it's really interesting the fact that they decided to take the start away from the men, so that they separated the races out so that the women actually get more attention on our race versus the men's race. It was a great way to start it last year, but this time they got such great viewership that now the women can actually start on their own a little further out. And
I just was checking the weather because we talked before we came on just about how Europe, well, it seems like the whole world is hot right now. But this part of France can really be hot. I gave a quick glance. It doesn't look that hot, so good news for this peloton. But yeah, the roads, it's just... and if you've been cycling for years, you understand the difference between pavement and concrete and chip seal. And
it's heavy.
It's just
very heavy.
And some of these stages, boy, they're not playing around. I don't know what was that line you used to always say about the save something, but I mean, it was some long days in here.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's talking about the finish, the last 2 days being on Tourmalet, and then the time trial, which got added this year, which we can talk about that too. But yeah, the lead into that, the days before are definitely hilly, but there are opportunities for sprinters too. So I think we're going to see a really exciting race just from the gun, because it's going to be 8 days full on, and everybody's trying to get a stage win. So it's going to make those first ones even harder.
Right.
Yeah. So overall, 8 days of racing, and they've suggested should it be longer? Should it, but really ASO wants to make sure this is successful, viable, and investment keeps coming into women's cycling. So 8 fantastic days of racing, covering 956 kilometers, the longest stage being 177K, which we can cover. And my biggest thing, and Mari and I have been talking about this at length, is this race is going to be very unpredictable. There are so many stages that offer opportunities for those punchers, those rollers, those classic riders. Yeah, you have a big mountaintop finish, but you also need to make echelon breaks, go up and down, and still get that green jersey. So the race looks very hard to control from a team standpoint. So then that's where after we cover the stages, we can look at what teams have the power to control, and also all the opportunity that could be handed to riders willing to take a risk. That was me just dropping the boomstick. I think that was good timing.
I saw it coming. I was like, that's our first boomstick of the tour this year. And unfortunately, it was just sliding off the table. But you know what, Allie, what you just said there, I get excited hearing that. Like, who can even, there's going to be days it's very difficult to control the race, which means anything can happen, which is what personally I loved last year. There was this element of uncertainty, and it just made for great watching. Like that, I hear that, I'm like, cool. Like let mayhem ensue. And
well, a lot of it also is, SD Works has been so dominant in the season so far, and so partially, in order to try and win the overall, they're going to have to figure out how to wear out that team, I think. So it's going to be interesting to see if the other teams end up doing the work because they're looking for stage wins, or if they're going to actually, make SD Works really have to kind of control things a little bit and figure out how to come into those last couple stages more fresh with their leaders. So I think that the race inside the race is going to be really interesting. And like you said, it's going to make it really exciting.
Yeah, unpredictable.
I mean, even if we look tomorrow, it says it's flat, but if you look at the course, it 9K to go, it's a 1.7K climb, which isn't that long, but it's a super technical descent down there. So it's able to, there's a good launch pad for like our Lamborghini, at least a Lamborghini. It could be a small group because sprinters need to get over that. And then also that descent, I looked at it online, and it is a twisty, technical, kind of coming off this like balcony level plateau.
Right. And it's, look, I mean, in 2K, what was it, almost 7.5%. 7.2%, and you only have 9 kilometers to the finish, mostly
all downhill.
All downhill. So
with some nice little switchback balcony routes. That's what I read. They called it a balcony, and I was like, that sounds terrifying. I don't want to descend down a balcony.
Too soon for you.
Yeah, no, none of that for me. So I think tomorrow we're looking at a yellow jersey, obviously, which is going to be very exciting, whether I cry or not. But you can have fast finishers having that opportunity, but also you can have some crafty breakaway artists that are willing to go full tilt and send it.
One thing worth noting for tomorrow, because I was just looking at the stage start. So if y'all are at home watching, the stage will actually, it's very early, at least we're on Colorado time. So I think The finish is scheduled to be right around 7:30 a.m. local time, so 8:30 Central. You guys can figure all that out. The rest of the stages go back, of course, then the men finish later in the evening over in Paris. And then the rest of the stages finish right around the same time that the men were finishing. So sometime sort of 9:30 Mountain Time, 10:30 Central.
Yeah.
It's good for us if we want to sleep.
I'd like some sleep, but I'm excited for tomorrow, so I doubt I'll sleep a wink. But yeah, we're looking at just so many opportunities on the stages, and no stage looks particularly boring or predictable. So I think that you should be super excited about that, all the listeners. And there's going to be a lot of shakeup. So yes, we said the longest stage is 177K, which that's going to be super fun because I'd like to see Cecile Uttrup Ludwig win the stage because it goes through some Danish royalty and it kicks up on a 500 meter cool little mini Liège-Bastogne-Liège. That's stage 4. We got stage 5, which it looks simple. You're like, oh, they say it's flat, 126 kilometers. And that's a stage where Thibaut Pinot lost 100 seconds in GC in the crosswinds there. Ooh. So, that's interesting. And then the other flat stage seems straight running. And, so there's only a couple stages for fast girls, like for the sprinters. And then the queen stage being stage 7, which is Tourmalet. Yeah. But there's also the Col d'Aspen. Can I call it Aspen? Because I don't know how to call it.
Aspen.
I mean, you can call it that. I don't know.
I'm an Aspen, so I thought I should just call it Col d'Aspen.
That'd be something. We just renamed your mountain for you. But
12K at 6.5%.
It's a tough climb. Climb. And then, of course, the Tourmalet is
17K at 7.3%.
Legendary.
And then the race that the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift actually finishes with an individual time trial, 22 kilometers.
It's going to keep it exciting all the way to the finish, which I think is awesome for for people and viewership.
I'm on the edge of my seat already because we do not know what's going to happen every day.
No, I think honestly that part is the best part. If in just looking at the course, and if you go through on a website or wherever you can find it, it's pretty lumpy, and this part of France is difficult. There can be wind, it can be extreme heat.
A lot of it's going to depend on how people recover. And I mean, things are so good now with the World Tour teams and stuff that they're getting a lot more attention and figuring it out, but you still have to go through it. So I think seeing how people recover day to day is going to be really interesting. Right. And then, the sprinters, I think also have opportunities too, but
Godspeed to them though. They have some hard days in there.
Well, everyone has some hard days for sure.
That's accurate. But so when we look at hitters, though, right? Players is what you call them. I call them hitters. I don't know.
No, hitters, players, favorites.
I mean,
badasses.
Mari and I they all are badass. Anyone that's lining up to that goddamn race is a badass. But Mari and I have definitely talked about this at length as well. I mean, and we could start with just different preparations. But I think the main duel that's going on, the rivalry, is going to be Annemiek van Vleuten versus Demi Vollering, which we've had that sweetheart on our show. So I will try to show no favoritism. Go Demi. Yeah.
But it's interesting because, Demi came out in the beginning of the season on fire and has won everything. And then, Annemiek came in maybe a little bit slower start to the season, but has really raced herself into form. So when you're watching that, and Annemiek's been racing, and Demi has kind of taken a different approach of training camps before this. So I think seeing them actually against each other again is going to be, because they are both riding at a different level than the next few riders. So it's going to be interesting to see how they, when they meet up again.
Yeah, they're our top two, definitely. And we know that Demi's the queen of Ardennes, winning Strade Bianchi. And she did some races, and then she took her dogs, her fiance Jan, who wants to be on the show if we ever want him. And they just went up to altitude. They camp and have snacks, and she trains really hard. And ABV, so Vleuten had a little slower season there, but she also won the Vuelta and the Giro-Don. So if she wins the Tour,
and that is the Giro in really good fashion. I mean, she really was walking away with it.
She was dominant. However, I did notice a lot of riders not attending the Giro-Don.
Well, that's why it's very interesting to see what happens now, because she was really, dominating the race, but a lot of the big players weren't there. So now we'll see what happens when it all comes. And same thing for the sprinters though, too. This is going to be the first race where all the sprinters have come together too. So I think a lot is going to be, it's going to be interesting to watch a lot of the stuff that's going on this next week.
And this is Annemiek's last season?
Yes.
Is that, you never know if the people change their mind but this is it.
Apparently.
Yeah. So I think, though, that's the duel we're going to be looking at and the different preparations to that. I think the Demi Vollering that we're watching now she's stronger, more confident than she was who she was last year. I mean, she knows how to win. She's a happy rider. She's taking care of herself. And she has a team of Lotta Kopecky, Marcus.
She's getting comfortable with her leadership role, I feel like.
Right.
And I think that having Anna van der Breggen in the car, who was kind of her mentor, is probably really helping her confidence as a leader. And so, she's really growing, and she's only been in the sport a short time. So she's definitely on on an upward trajectory. So.
And she beat Annemiek in the Dutch national time trial.
Right.
Yeah,
recently,
right. Yeah.
And both teams could support the race, or who's got the upper hand there? So
Annemiek has improved her team this year, but SD Works is definitely the powerhouse team, and they're all in for her win.
Also, the SD Works has Lauren Weebies though, our sprinter that actually hurt, but I won't do that again.
You be careful, okay?
Yeah.
But I think that's something that we're going to be watching this week is how the other teams, are they going to kind of gang up on SD Works a little bit and make SD Works do the work, or are they going to, how sometimes when you're in a race and everyone's wanting to have a stage win, the smaller teams end up doing the work for the bigger teams because they don't want to have missed something and they need to get out there. But if you're constantly not making that team work, then you're just saving them for when it actually counts.
My gut is looking at SD Works and the riders they have. I think a stage suits every single one of the riders of their team.
Oh, wow.
Which then you can send, Lotta Kopecky won Flanders. You have the winner of Amstel Gold. You have the winner, and those are all different riders. So I think that there is just some maybe a little gambling. Maybe they make Movie Star or Canyon SRAM chase some of these kind of more puncher roller type courses. Demi loses some time, but she's got the Tourmalet to duke it out with, and Van Vleuten. I don't know.
Yeah.
How many Americans in the race?
I think it's 3.
I ask. I mean, first of all, I'm curious, but
Corinne Lebecki,
everybody's always
Veronica
interested.
Ewers, and Megan Jastrab. So I know we have those 3. I'm not sure if there's anyone else, but
I don't think so.
I think that's it. Yeah. And I think I'm really interested to watch how Veronica Ewers does, because she just got 4th in the Giro. I mean, we're on American riders now, but I am excited to see her progression, because last year she was 9th overall. She was like the quiet person that you weren't expecting, and she just keeps getting better and better. And it was only her 2nd year as a pro. So, she's learning a lot. And I don't know about Podium, but I think that seeing her in the top 5 would be pretty incredible.
Well, yeah, the way this is framed up here, this starts to sound a lot like the men's race. It's two-man race, and we spent a ton of time just trying to figure out who would stand on the podium with these guys, and of course it was totally uncertain, really even down to today. So it was a very similar situation.
Is Chloe Dygart racing?
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so that's where we can kind of go into some of the other levels of teams where we have some dark horses and some really powerful riders that can make a huge impact. So if I picked a podium, I have Demi Van Vleuten, and then I don't know who Mari picks, but I have Ashley Moolman-Pasio on there. She has won some hilly races. She just signed another contract. She races for a little smaller team, the AG Insurance Soudal Quick Step. Commonwealth Game champion, Olympian, South African. She's going to come on our show at one point as well, because she's amazing.
So we for sure want to see her on the podium.
Yes, but she just won some really pivotal, that kind of Basque Country racing things early, a couple weeks ago, and she's been doing some good training, and I feel like her confidence is coming up. We have Juliette Lebos, 24. She won a Giro stage. She was 4th overall last year. She comes from table tennis and gymnastics.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. She says it makes it better for crashing. She's very nimble.
What, but
4th overall last year.
How do we get table tennis out of all this? I mean, Is that some sneaky endurance sport? Did I miss that?
What about gymnastics?
Right.
And then, we like the FDJ, like they have a little bit of a hit squad. They don't have the powerhouse that SD Works has, but I think they have the best, like, kind of 3 or 4 secret climbers. Like SD Works has like power, and Demi. And then, FDJ, you've got Cecile Etwig Ludwig, you got Marta Cavalli, you got Evita Music. And these are all like just top 5, top 10 finishers on hilly stages. So they might have more cards to play if they can hang long enough.
Yeah.
So I liked that. And then, Mari, I would like your opinion on this, but the most dynamic team that I see is Little Trek. Do I call it Little Trek? Because I have a lot of jokes on that, but I'll stop.
No, there was a lot of that going on. Yeah.
So I'm not sure they have a true GC contender when you look at, they're a big budget team. And you look at Demi and Van Vleuten, I'm not sure they have the perfect GC contender, but we're talking Lizzie Dijkman, Olympic gold medalist. We have our Lamborghini, Elisa Longoborghini. We got Amanda Spratt. And we also have this 4'11" little truck rider.
She's not racing.
She's not.
I don't think
Gaia,
so.
No, I just read an article on her.
Did you see? Okay, well, maybe she is. I thought I heard that she wasn't, but...
Anyway, Gaia Riolini.
We'll find out tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we'll see. But she beat Annemiek van Vleuten in a stage at the Vuelta, and she finished 3rd overall in the Vuelta and in the Giro. So
the way you pronounce Little Trek,
it's just 4'11".
I kind of really want this little Trek rider.
Blaze
is little.
She's 4'11", and she's like on the smallest bike. And Blaze was like, "Only tell that joke once on the podcast." I was like, "I don't think it's gonna get old."
No, that one might have some legs.
How much do you think she weighs? She's
88 pounds.
Is it 88? Oh my God, she's so little. Sorry, she's so little.
And then Lisa Balsamo on that team is coming back, our former world champion, but she came back from a pretty bad crash in Ride London. So I think something we could watch in this preview, and as the race goes on, and interested in your opinion, but I feel like Little Trek has a very dynamic squad, but like, do they have one winner, or are they just going to go and stage hunt?
I think they're going to be stage hunting, and it's going to be exciting to watch because they do have different cards to play, and they are going to be there, so I think that they're going to definitely be one of the most dynamic teams. I totally agree with you on that.
And they have people to win every stage,
Right.
basically, maybe except Tourmalet.
Yeah.
Let's see if that. I'm just checking the start list here on online.
Goodness gracious, if she's not going, I'll be so bummed because
I know.
I'm just missing my...
Maybe, I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I thought I saw that yesterday.
I actually hope you're wrong, too. What's her name again?
Gianna Riolini.
Bad news.
Yep, she's not there.
Oh, man.
They still have...
They have really good riders.
Team,
okay.
And... Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
The one I was looking at was a little outdated. I'm sorry. And then,
well, who knows? By the way, these things
can change up to the last minute.
Yeah, there's some alternates there, and these things can change just as it does on the men's side too.
So, and then, last, just as we wrap up all our hitters and players, we are really happy that Corinne Lebecki is making her going back to the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift. She'll be definitely working as a domestique for Marianne Vos. She just won.
Has a very good chance on that first day.
Yes.
It's a kind of a Marianne Vos type finish.
And yeah, so I think watching the Vos Lebecki, Jumbo Visma, just having fun with it. Cassia Niodoma, who finished 3rd last year. She's on Canyon SRAM. She's always around that area.
And just to mention our last American in the race, with Megan Jastrap, she's been riding incredible this year. She's young. She's going to be working for LeBooth. And it's going to be fun to watch her too, because she's also progressing and getting to be such a good,
Well, you said Chloe Dygert's not just to fill me in. Why wouldn't she? She's been riding good this year. Why
she has been riding really well. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't talked to her, but my guess would be that because Worlds is coming up and she's preparing on the track and the road, that she probably wanted to take that time to get everything set for her.
Well, it was great
trial.
to see her back winning races, and of course she had that horrific crash.
Yeah.
It was just, all crashes there's always luck involved. That was bad.
That
luck.
was bad.
That was just real bad luck,
Yeah.
and good to see her back.
And she's riding incredible. She was in the top 3 how many times in the Giro?
Yeah, I thought some of these finishes would suit her so well, 500
when
kickers.
you look at some of these profiles, you're like, she's
I want to send her there so
much power.
Yeah. And if she could have made it to the final time trial, it would have been something.
Yeah.
But
See you in the douches.
See you in the douches. So before the comments come out that I didn't mention, Mavi Garcia and Silvia Prosecco as also some riders to watch.
Right. She had bad luck last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have some really incredible riders. And you know what? I think this is going to be so exciting because we're just going to wake up and not sleep and
and I don't have to I don't have to babysit either of y'all. George is leaving, so the hard work is done. It really is.
And we're excited to
Mari,
work
if
out in the morning.
you got to pick a podium for us. I'm curious what you. I mean, I think we know what the top two are. Maybe you shuffle them, but what's?
Yeah, I'm not. It's hard to say because I think that the third position is so many things can happen in that one. So yeah, let's see here. I don't know who I'm choosing. I don't want to like go with something right now. No,
it's a preview show.
I know.
Go darts.
All right, I'm going to do Cecile.
For third, yeah.
Yeah.
But who wins?
This is the move.
Thank you. I think that like watching Van Vleuten's progression, I mean, and the fact that the last day is a time trial, I think that she's the favorite. She has to be the favorite, and but with the way Demi's been riding, and we'll see, because if Demi can ride into the race, if she comes in having done training camps but not having the races in her legs these last few weeks, maybe she rides into it, and then we'll see. But yeah, I guess I'm going with Van Vleuten on this one.
Oh,
sorry.
Well, that's not a No, it's not personal.
No, it's not personal at all. They're both so amazing.
I mean, it's just, I just feel like, it's an 8-day race, and she's been racing coming into it, and her form is looking better and better. Plus her confidence is there. So it'd be hard to go against her right now.
And SD Works is overall a stronger team. That's a question. That's not a statement.
Yes.
100%.
Okay. Well, I think that says a lot when you look at this.
But you still got to go up those mountains.
Yeah. But you have to, keep things
Attack the
contained.
crosswinds.
Yeah.
Lance, do you have a pick, or are you?
What y'all said. I'm.
Mari and I said different things.
Well, I agree. Yeah. I don't, I track the results online and read the headlines. And I'm just curious too, a rider like Annemiek she's had a great career, and it's her last season.
She's 40 years old.
That's a special, like if you're going out, it's and you've had the career you've had, that she's had, the best way to go out is on top. I mean, it's just, so I think there's some extra morale there. I'm not trying to. I'm just acknowledging that. I'm following y'all.
That third spot on the podium is so hard to think about, because having that hill top finish in really hot weather the day before an individual time trial, and then it could be up in the air until the very last minute, and it's so hard to know how these girls are going to time trial after that stage, I feel like.
Yeah, I have like Mulman Paso, Ludwig, Labous, Niodoma. Like that third spot to me, barring injury, crashes, unfortunately.
Some of the girls who I wouldn't normally think would be good time trialists, not like a Chloe Dygert kind of time trialist. There's that climb in the middle of it. Maybe, some of the girls who don't normally time trial as well might do a little bit better. Plus with tired legs and everything. Who knows? So.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really exciting Tour de France Femmes with Zwift. Edge of our seats.
Yeah, sweet seats.
Sweet seats. Yeah,
and
that's what we are.
You guys have to set your alarms early, because we gotta be up early to watch.
Do you need a wake up call tomorrow?
No,
you're the one who needs wake up calls. Quite honestly,
I'm very
accurate.
I'm very good with scheduling and alarms, and when I say I'm going to get up, I get up.
Yeah,
I promise.
But we're really excited to tune in tomorrow on the move here to cover the first stage, Clermont-Ferrand of the.
We are going to need a French lady
help.
to come in here and pronounce these
we need
for us.
Somebody.
I'm not listening
everything.
to Allie for 8 days.
We're doing the Col d'Aspen. It'll be so fun.
Oh God.
We are. Yes. Yeah.
I felt like we did the Col d'Aspen today.
Me too. But yeah, we wanted to touch base just on thanking you guys all for listening and making such a positive impact on women's cycling. And there has been some impact reports that 23.2 million people tuned in to the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift last year. We're going to definitely increased that. And it is the 4th highest watched women's sport at the moment.
Wow.
So this is making a huge influence in sponsorship dollars, creating a bigger impact in our sport, making the sport more viable, and which was, I like to say, visibility is viable, and visibility is viability, excuse me. But right now we're having this very special moment in women's sports, as you touched on, Lance, with the World Cup and everything like that. And I'm like taking these special moments and being like, that's amazing. This is a special moment. Let's embrace that and then make it a powerful movement where it keeps going forward, and the snowball effect to make women's sports have that visibility and investment and sponsorship dollars to make it possible.
I was going to say, Allie, one of the things that was interesting that I was reading is that a lot of the viewership was women, and which, it's always a question of who's watching, and the thing that's exciting about that is that you're going to have younger women like now being able to have their heroes and picking out the people that they want to grow up and be like, which helps our sport in the sense of having heroes out there and wanting to go into cycling as a sport.
It's like if you see it, you can be it.
Does the impact report say the top 3 sports? You said that cycling is the
tennis, soccer.
You would have WNBA or
I can't remember the third one. I'm sorry.
Okay. But
tennis, still. Soccer, tennis. It's not WNBA.
Well, let's have people watch. Let's get on the podium this summer.
Let's do it. I think we should get on the podium.
Yeah, let's podium. Hell yeah.
Watch the mom.
People.
Anyway, it's like ROI, right? Like just watching it. That's why this is so cool. We get to cover these amazing athlete stories. We get to be excited and watch like some badass racing. And then also it's not just a charity case. It's a business model to help this sport. So we're stoked to spend the week with you, Lancey Pants.
Wow.
Whoa. That's a new nickname.
That is new. All right. Well, it's going to be a good week. Wow, it could be a long week after the last that last little line. But all right. Well, this will be fun. Yeah. Thanks for being here, girls and ladies. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you early tomorrow morning.
All right. Bye.
Bye.